Hi guys! Thanks so much for being here with me. I really appreciate you tuning in. And I love making these videos. They're very centering for me. And I'm noticing I'm looking a little bit haggard today. I went and visited my family this weekend. My mom is in the hospital and not doing very well. So I neglected to do 2 videos last week, and I promise this week I'll do 3 to make up for it, including a travel food video because I was traveling and that's really fresh in my mind and something that was really difficult for me when I first started out and can continue to be difficult, but I will definitely address that. What I wanted to address today was something that really touched my heart yesterday. I was sitting here talking with our postpartum doula, who's incredible, Pam, and she shared a story with me about a family who read a childcare book and was kind of just blindly following the advice to the detriment of their children. Now, there are a lot of parenting theories out there, and every baby is different, and you should definitely do what you feel is right for you and your family and your baby, which is the point of this video. But this family was really just seriously blindly following the advice of this very controversial book, actually, without any kind of empathy or observation or care for what was best for that baby. And this was, I think, a Facebook post, and it was written by the grandmother who was very concerned that this child's needs weren't being met because this family, I imagine, thinking they were doing the best thing, following this parenting advice in this book, and they were actually probably doing harm to their child. At least that was the grandmother's point of view, and it seemed like that to me, and it was just heartbreaking. Having an 8-month-old, that kind of thing just really really gets to me. But it reminded me of why my work in the world is so important to me, why these videos are so important to me, why my first book I wrote was so important, and my next book coming out, which we're working on, getting those final edits out, is so important. And that's because people who are not connected to themselves, not connected to their heart, unable to hear their own inner voice, and just completely devoid of any awareness of their own GPS that tells you what's right for you and what's not right for you, and in extension, what's right for your children and not right for your children. If they're too young to tell you that themselves, you have this voice in you that tells you this is right for me and this is not. And just even hearing that story yesterday of that family with the children, just like my heart hurt. And that feeling of your heart hurting is telling you something is not right. So that's telling me that that would be not the right thing to do for me and my family. And that's not necessarily possibly true for everyone. It just depends on what the issue is. But if you don't have this connection to your inner voice, you are lost without a North Star, without a compass. My first book is about connecting back to the inner voice. And I have 8 practices in there to do that. And I encourage you to get that book if that resonates for you, not because I want to make money. I make hardly any money on this book at all. It's completely not about that. It's really about helping people reconnect to their hearts, because when you are connected to your heart, you are kind to yourself. You allow yourself space to learn and grow and to feel. And you allow that for others. You're kind to other people. You're kind to your children. You're kind to animals. You have empathy for what your children need. You're not going to just follow anyone's advice, whether you're a parent or in any other role, and override that GPS. When you're connected to that, it's so loud that it's painful actually to override it. And my mission underlyingly is to get people to reconnect with that heart, with their voice, so that they do what's right for them and for the planet, ultimately. Because again, people who hear that voice are not wasteful. They recognize that there was a tree cut down to make this bag, and they make every effort to bring their own bags. And even, just something on that kind of basic functional level, it will change everything for us. So I'm really passionate about this. And one way to get really clear on what your inner voice is telling you, what your truth is to eat in a clean way. Because when your body is clear of toxins, when your body is always detoxing and getting rid of impurities, when you do not have those problems I mentioned on my last video, which are like brain fog, pain in your body, migraines, any kind of thing that's taking your attention away from your connection with yourself, are going to obviously get in the way of that connection. So eating raw is really an amazing way to help you retain and get back to that connection with yourself that's so vital, not just for you to feel good and get healthy, which also happens as a byproduct, but for your children, for your pets, for the animals of the world, for the trees, for our entire planet to really, they need you. We need you to be in that space of self-connection and to be able to stand up and say, no, that's not right for me and my family. Or no, that's not right for the animals. They don't need to go through that suffering. Or that's not right for we need to be able to stand up and say no, even if it's just by buying a different product. Or like I said, bringing your bag to the store. We need to be able to connect with our hearts and be in alignment in our lives with what we know to be true. And to know what is true for us, we need to be connected to that inner voice. And eating clean, like I said, is one of those amazing ways to do that. On a slightly separate note, eating raw vegan also puts you absolutely in alignment with what your body wants. There is really no question at this point scientifically, and please don't give me comments on this one. Do your research and have your own beliefs and think I'm wrong if that's what needs to happen. That's totally fine. But from what I know and from my own body, from what I know about my own research and what I've read and seen, is that really there isn't any question that a plant-based diet is the healthiest for our species. We are a mammal, and we know what diet is best for us. Like we know what diet is best for a cow or a whale. So there really isn't a question about that anymore. And so when we're in alignment that way, knowing that we're eating what our body is asking for, and like I've mentioned before, the more you do that, the more that your body will tell you, this is good for me, this is not good for me. For instance, yesterday, Kyle and I went out and got a juice at Creation, and we had some cauliflower that's cooked, I think it's probably steamed, and then it had a quinoa kind of like batter on it. And it's not fried or anything. It's all really healthy. And I had a couple of bites of that because I thought, oh, that looks really good. It tasted good. It was super organic and natural. I thought, no big deal. And as soon as I ate that, I knew that was not something my body wanted. And I didn't feel really good after. And my body is very clean, and I'm very attuned to what feels right for it to eat and what doesn't. And so that's another way, you will be connected to that true north in you. So that GPS will start to tell you what is right for you in every sphere of your life. And it will start to be so painful not to follow that advice that it's more painful than following something outside of you that's telling you what you need or what you should do because of they want to sell you something, or because it's culturally appropriate, or because that's what your family's always done. None of that matters. Get tuned into yourself, be able to hear that clear voice, and have an amazing day. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.